the Son of Man, according to switch over, and I know there's two of me right now, but don't worry, there's not going to be two of me for long, because we are going to look at Matthew chapter 25. I was teaching on this recently because some folks at my church had some questions about the final judgment. And while I was teaching on it, it just struck me how radically and utterly different this section of Scripture is than the One West misunderstanding of judgment and how God determines who's who goes where, who does what, based upon what. You follow me? And so when I was reading it, I said, I think I need to share this with the audience. This is something that you can take that will help you in your dialogue with these guys. This is an amazing section of Scripture. And I just want to go through it with you. And I think it's going to bless you and benefit you. We are in Matthew chapter 25. So let's take a look here. Matthew chapter 25. Look at what it says here. When the Son of Man comes in his glory. Who's talking here? Jesus is the one talking. If I put the red letter selection on my Logos, which I use, you would see this would all be in red letters, but that's kind of hard on the eyes, so I left it black. When the Son of Man comes in his glory. So who's the Son of Man? Well, you're going to see that Jesus is talking about himself. When the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the angels with him, the Son of Man is described in Daniel 7, 13, and 14. Can I show you that briefly so you can understand exactly where I'm getting it from? The idea that Jesus is the Son of Man, and this is a divine title. I saw in the night visions, and behold, with the clouds of heaven there came one like a Son of Man, and he came to the Ancient of Days and was presented before him. And to him, the Son of Man, was given dominion and glory and a kingdom that all peoples, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom one that shall not be destroyed. Now this is in the middle of Daniel's vision that he has when he sees earthly kingdoms that are going to pass away. But here he's speaking about a kingdom that is not going to pass away. It's the Son of Man's kingdom. And you see this at the end of the book of Matthew that we're looking at, where Jesus says that all authority has been given to me. Jesus says that. He's clearly claiming the prerogative of the Son of Man from Daniel 7, 13, and 14. Then he tells people to go out to all the nations. So that means the ingathering of the process that is right here. It's beginning. The process of the ingathering is beginning. Gathering who? The elect out of every nation, people, and language or tongue, as is often translated in Revelation 5 and 7, which says that every nation, tribe, and tongue were right there worshiping the Lamb. So that's where you see the culmination of it is in the throne scenes of the book of Revelation. So that's the background to the title of Matthew 25, when Jesus says, when the Son of Man comes. So the Son of Man comes in his glory. The idea is he's coming with the kingdom. And all the angels with him. Then he will sit on his glorious throne. Clearly this is displaying rulership, okay? When the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the angels with him, then he will sit on his glorious throne. Before him will be gathered all the ethnos. And he will separate people one from another, as the shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. Now watch this. All the nations are here. So let's think of in the first century. Let's use that as a reference. Greece is there. The Greeks. Rome is there. The Romans. Persia is there. The Persians. The remnants of the Babylonian Empire. We'll call them Babylonians, although they weren't really called that at this time. Syria, the Syrians. Ethiopians. They're there. We could go on and on and on. Whoever you can think of, they're all there. Now this is at the end of time, so there'll be different people groups to be mentioned, but this is all nations for all time, because this scene that Jesus is setting is final judgment. So if you're Jewish of the first century and hearing this, you might listen to Jesus speaking in this section and go, oh look, the Son of Man, according to Jesus, is having all the nations gather. Well, now he's going to deal with Israel and then all the other nations. You might think something like that. But that's what's crazy. That's not how he deals with it. all the ethnos are gathered there, and then he separates out individual people. It's not collectivism. It's not, oh, this nation goes in and this nation doesn't go. Notice, this is literally the opposite of One West Israelism. They say it is based upon, if you're on the 12 tribes chart, made up by Edward Meredith Bivens and Arya, if you're on the 12 tribes chart, made up by guys at this school in Harlem, they claim they got word from the Lord, but they're false prophets and we all know it. So why should we trust them on this One West 12 tribes chart? We don't. We shouldn't. You're a fool if you do, frankly. They say if you're on the chart, you're getting into the kingdom. Yeah, you might have to experience thermonuclear winter if you were a rebellious person. But hey, we call you Judah, you're going to get in, Judah. We call you Simeon, you're going to get in, Simeon. We call you Dominicans, we call you black folks, we call you Benjamites, we call you Jamaicans, we call you Ephraim, we call you Puerto Ricans. You get the idea. We call you Cubans, we call you Manasseh. You're all getting in. We call you Native Americans, we call you Gad, we call you Seminoles, we call you Reuben. You guys are all getting in. You're all getting in. Oh, you guys, we call you Edomites, we call you Amalekites, white folks, Jewish folks. Oh, we call you Hamites, Africans. Oh, we call you Elamites, East Indians. Oh, what else do we call you? We call you Ishmaelites, Arab folks. We call you Ammonites, Japanese. We call you Moabites, Chinese. You guys aren't getting in. Why is this final judgment scene, though, extend on? Meaning, there's more to the story. If it was based upon the One West imagination that they've come up with, and they go out in the street and teach every Saturday, breaking the Sabbath, if they're really trying to keep it, of course, then why is this scene, Jesus said, why is it so long? It's not as simple, although I don't think it's all tribe chart's really simple, as the One West imagination, where you got folks, and then you just, hey, if you're 12 tribes, come over here. But if you're not, you go over there. He's literally separating the people one from another. That's what the Greek says. Autos, them, masculine, plural. He's literally separating the people out of the individual nations. And this is often sometimes called the parable of the sheep and the goats. That's where we are when we're in Matthew 20. That's where we are when we're in Matthew 25. Are you following? Now, this is good for Christians to know anyway, but it's good to set this against the One West delusion about how people get in or don't get into the kingdom. And guess what? We're literally talking about a kingdom. How do I know? It's literally going to say king and kingdom here in a second. This is incredibly relevant, destroys the racist Hebrew Israelite eschatology just with this alone. It's all gone.
All right, shalom. All praise.
All right. Shalom. Shalom, Ahab, Wa Baraka. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Waha, Raka, Quadash, and double honors to the elder apostles, the prophets, and the teachers that have been bringing out this 100% truth for the last 30 plus years, not wavering to the left or to the right. Well, you guys saw it. Saw it with your own eyes. Vocab alone is going off again. I just want to isolate a part of the video that he was talking about, how the Most High is going to pluck all of the individual people from the different nations. It's actually right. But what he doesn't understand is those individual people will all be Israelites, whether they look like the other nations or not. See, this is where the Christians have it all screwed up. They're going to say everybody's saved, but really, only the Israelites are going to be saved. So let's go into it. Where's my glasses? I had glasses. I can't see, guys. I gotta put the glasses on today. Hold on, I gotta find a pair of glasses real quick. All right, now I can see. Let's go ahead and get into it. So he was bringing out, Matthew chapter 25. So I want to start, and we heard his Matthew chapter 25 breakdown, but I would like to start with Exodus, honestly. I'm isolating one thing where he was going to talk about the other, nations all being brought back together. I have to show you what it's really saying, or you'll never understand anything listening to this guy, and you'll end up literally being left out of the kingdom. These people are paid operatives. They're paid to gaslight the truth. These dudes they never existed until the truth started coming out. When did you hear about a Christian going against a Muslim? No, let's all be together as one with the Muslims. Remember, let's all be what is it called, celestial or whatever, where they're all the religions are joining together. Well, then all of a sudden we come out with this, and all the religions have joined together to fight against the truth. So let's start by isolating all these nations. So we got to go to the book of Exodus. And I'm glad to be here. I have been working so much lately. I go to work at 5:30 in the morning, get home at about 9 o'clock at night when my kids and my wife are already in bed. And so I'm pretty tired with the physical labor job that I do. So it's been a very tough week for me. I'm almost in tears not being able to bring out a class. But let's go to the book of Exodus, chapter 2, KJV. And we're going to go down to the point. Let's start at verse 23. And it reads, "And it came to pass in process of time that the king of Egypt died, and the children of Israel sighed by reason of bondage, and they cried. And their cry came up unto Yahweh by reason of the bondage." So only the children of Israel are being heard. There's a point to this. Let's keep reading. "And Yahweh heard their groaning, and Yahweh remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob." There's what? So it has to go through Jacob. If you're not part of those children, you are not getting in. So when Vocab alone says all the nations are going to be saved, that's bullshit. It's a Christian doctrine. It's a lie to keep you asleep. To think that you can be saved, and if you keep the laws, that the Most High is going to hate you for keeping the laws, but follow my fucking lead. Man, I'm sorry about the going off, but these guys, they know nothing. They teach nothing. They teach you to not come. They teach you to not have a quickening spirit. It's horrible. So let's read it again. And Yahweh heard their groanings, and Yahweh remembered his covenant with who? Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. Not Esau, not any of the other nations. Abraham, Isaac, but through Jacob. But through Jacob is how that covenant is going to be upheld. That's who's going to get the blessing. The descendants of Jacob. Because Isaac, we all know he had twin sons. They were fraternal twins. So you have Esau, who came out first, the oldest, and Jacob, who came out second, the youngest. And Yahweh looked upon the children of Israel, and Yahweh had respect unto them. That's verse 25. So we know that he's only talking about Israelites no matter what nation he goes into. Let's keep going, because let's go over to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, and we're going to go right to the point there. Also, it's in verse 64. Let's read it. So this also is going to give you an idea of how we were scattered to the other nations too. So let's start at 63. "And it shall come to pass that as the Yahweh rejoiced over you to do you good and multiply you," because he did. That was where we outnumber the sand of the sea. We know that. "So Yahweh will he will rejoice over you to destroy you." Why? Because we didn't follow the instructions. That's Deuteronomy 28 and 15. So let me keep going. "And to bring you to naught," down to nothing. So, and ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it. Here's the point. "And Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth unto the other. And thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone." So it's telling you, not only are we going to be scattered to the four corners of the earth, Vocab's a moron. He knows this. He knows that we're scattered, but he's going to say all nations. No, we're going to look like the other nations. So it's going to look like all the nations are coming together, but really it's just going to be the Israelites within those other nations that look like the nation that they've intermingled with. Very simple stuff here. Very simple. So, we know that we are going to be scattered among all the nations. And you know what? From one end of the earth to the other. There's the point right there, but we're still going to read 65 anyway. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But Yahweh shall give thee there a trembling heart, mind, falling of eyes, and sorrow of mind. You're going to be scared from head to toe about what's going to happen next because you're going to be unsure in your daily life. And now, I don't know if you ever heard about how, as a so-called black man, every time you say goodbye to your family, you don't know if you're coming back. And that is a damn true statement. Now, back to Vocab Malone. Now that we know that we've been scattered, we know that the blessing is only for Israel through Jacob. Let me go ahead and get back to what he's talking about now. So let's go over to the book of Matthew. Because we got to make sure that this is in context, and we got to make sure he's talking about the Israelites. So we got to start with the Israelites we got to start with the beginning to let you know that when we were scattered, he didn't say, I'm going to scatter all the nations. No, he said, I'm going to scatter the Israelites among all nations. So Matthew chapter 25, going down to the point, starting at verse 31, in the King James Version, so it might be a little bit more easy to understand. We might have to go to the NLT, who knows. It reads, verse 31, Matthew 25 and 30, when the Son of Man shall come in his glory and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as he divideth his sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on the right hand, but the goats on the left hand. And then he went into what? He said, well, that's prophesied in the book of Daniel, right? So let's go ahead and get that. Because that is true. So let's get it really quick. And it's Daniel chapter 7. And watch this. But see, he likes to do sleight of hand. He likes to like throw in a little bit of truth with a lot of lies. So Daniel, this is Daniel chapter 7. We're going to go right to the point, starting at verse 13. And I saw the night vision, and behold, one like the Son of Man coming out of the clouds of heaven. That goes back into verse 31 in Matthew 25. And came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, all nations, and all languages should serve him. And clearly, aren't we going to rule over all the nations with an iron rod? Wait, so right there, all nations. Let's hold that for a second. Let's hold that. Let's remember what the Bible really says for a second here. Because it said that all nations, all language should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. So let's go over to the book of Isaiah, chapter 14. This is a go-to. Verse 1. For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel. We've been scattered to the four corners of the earth. Listen carefully. And set them in their own land. I just told you we were going to be plucked out of our land according to Deuteronomy. Now we're being put back in. Where are the other nations? Let's find out. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Now watch. Let's find out what happens to the other nations. Verse 2, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids. They shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. There's your all nations. The Israelites are going to be ruling over you in that kingdom that shall not be destroyed. Okay, so let's go back over to Let me read Daniel chapter 7 and 14 again. And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom that all people, all nations, and all languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. Yep. So let's read verse 3 in Isaiah chapter 14. And it shall come to pass in that day. You mean the day where when his kingdom comes, which is the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, thy king, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. He's bringing the kingdom here. All you stupid Christians are like, well, we're going to the pearly gates of heaven in the sky. No, you're not. We're going to the chariots in the sky to watch you die. Didn't mean for that to rhyme, but it did. It rhymed. It's funny. It shall come to pass, this is verse 3 again, in that day Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrows and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. So, it sounds like that we're going to be taken out of a captivity, and in this everlasting kingdom that shall not go away, we're going to be at rest. In fact, let me read 5, 6, and 7 real quick, because the earth is going to be at rest when this I'm gonna skip down to verse I'm going to go down to verse 20. Okay? And it says, this is Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 20. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. Okay? So what does 21 say? Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. For I will rise up against them, says the Lord of hosts, the Shabbaoth, Yahweh's army, Shabbaoth, and cut off from Babylon the names, the remnant, and the son, and the nephew, saith the Lord. That's extinction for somebody. So, back over here to, now that we know that the Most High is not going to have us sitting there with all nations serving him. All nations are going to serve. It shows you that they're going to serve. Because it says that we are going to take them captives, whose captives we were. We've been scattered to the four corners of the earth. And every place that we've been scattered to, we are the slave. Back to the book of Matthew. Let's go back to the book of Matthew. So there's no way that we're all just going to be joyful together in the end and all nations are going to be holding hands. No, we're going to look like the other nations, but our heritage will go back to the bloodline of Yashar Allah, or also known as AKA Jacob. Abraham, Isaac, but the covenant is through Jacob. So back to Matthew chapter 25, verse 30, and because he said this too, and I'm going to bring this out too, because he remember, Vocab, he named off all these different nations. He even named off the Ethiopians. Everybody's going to serve the Lord together. Yeah, as slaves, I showed you that. But let me show you what the Most High is really going to do to these nations before he lets them serve us as our personal servants and handmaids. He's got to do something first. So let me show you. So I'm going to read 32 again. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats, and he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on his left. So, watch this. And let's go over to the book of I lost it. Hold on, let me get it. Put the wheat in my barn, but put the tares in a pile to burn them. There it is, 13 and 30. Sorry about that, guys. Mine went blank. Matthew chapter 13, going to the point, because he was talking about how he's going to separate the sheep from the goats. One on his right hand and the other on his left. So let me show you what that's talking about too. You ain't getting away with nothing over here, buddy. Okay, so let's go into Matthew chapter 13, KJV. And we're going to go down to the point. And verse 30. Let both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of the harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares and bind them up in bundles to burn them. Okay? So he's telling you over here in Matthew 25, what did he tell you? He said in verse 33, and he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on his left. So let me read it again to you. It says that let them both grow together. So once the harvest is full, so the goats and the sheep are also together. Let them both grow together. And in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them. But gather the wheat in my barn. Okay? So, listen carefully. Verse 33, and he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, come ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. That's only talking about the wheat. That's only talking about the Israelites. That's only talking about those that have the promise and the covenant. We were the only ones given the laws, the statutes, the commandments, the ordinances. That's only Israel. So back to it. He said all nations. Let me show you what's going to happen to the other nations real quick now. Now we know that the goat and the sheep, the goats, it doesn't say those goats are gone. He's blessing the sheep. He's blessing the sheep. Remember that. So let's go over to the book of Zephaniah. And the reason why this is beautiful because he wants to talk about Zephaniah chapter 2. He wants to talk about all the other nations here. He even said, even Ethiopia will be gathered in. So let's see what it says. Let's go down to verse. Here it is. We'll start at verse 6. I have cut off the nations. Their towers are desolate. I made their streets waste, that none passeth by. Their cities are destroyed, so that there is no more man, that there is none inhabitants. Just in case you didn't... Wait, are we in chapter 3? What the... Zephaniah chapter 2. But you know what? That was good anyway, because he's showing you that he cut off all nations. He's destroying all these nations, and there's not going to be anything left. Now let's go to chapter 2. That was a bonus. The Most High threw that one in there, because I was trying to go to chapter 2 and start at verse Verse 6. No, wait. Verse 5. Woe unto, so this is Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 5. I showed you in chapter 3 that he's going to destroy all these nations. Listen carefully. This is verse 5. Woe unto the inhabitants of the seacoast, the nation of the Cherethites. The word of Yahweh is against you. O Canaan. Oh, there's two. The land of the Philistines. I will destroy thee. Remember, Vocab was naming off all nations? Well, in the Bible, it says he's destroying all these nations. This is what makes me so angry, because you Christians don't study. And you listen to people like Mark Reese, who's using a nickname like Vocab Malone, trying to sound like a so-called black guy to me. Personally, I think that you just love us so much you wish you could be us. You even made a name like us, because we have all how about this? We got all of these people with rap names, right? And so what does he do? He gave himself a rap name, if you want to really see it that way. But it's true. It's true. He wants to be us so bad, and he knows he can't. Now let me show you the gaslighting that he's been doing, though. So we already know about the Cherethites. We know about Canaan. We know about the Philistines. Let's go. Let's keep going. Verse 6. This is Zephaniah 2 and 6. And the seacoast shall be dwellings and cottages for shepherds and folds for flocks. And the coast shall be for the remnant of the house of Judah. Okay? They shall feed thereupon. In the houses of Ashkelon shall they lie down in the evening. For the Lord, Yahweh, their power shall give them and turn away their captivity. Remember, we're going to take those captives whose captives we were there. He's removing our captivity right now while I'm speaking to you, while all these other people are gaslighting the truth to try to keep you in this mind state that's a dead mind state, pretty much. It's not a quickened spirit. It's not a spirit of Yahweh that they're coming in other words. They're trying to keep you asleep on purpose. They don't want the end to come, because their judgment is in this end and our captivity is finished. So, we know that Judah shall feed thereupon, the houses of Ashkelon shall lie down in the evening, and Yahweh their power shall visit them and turn away their captivity. Verse 8. Let's keep, because you remember, I'm just going through the nations right now because I want you guys to see all these nations that he was speaking so highly about. Let's keep reading. Verse 8. I have heard a reproach of Moab and the revelings of the children of Ammon, whereby they reproached my people and magnified themselves against their border. Therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh Yahweh, the Lord of hosts, which is Yahweh's army, Yahweh of Yashar Allah, surely Moab shall be as Sodom, and the children of Ammon shall be as Gomorrah. What did he do? He burned them to a crisp. Let's keep going. Even the breeding nettles and the salt pits and the perpetual desolation, the residue of my people shall spoil them. We will take them captives whose captives they were. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. The Vocab alone doesn't know anything. He only knows what he's told to say. Oh, look what I found. How the hell didn't you find that before 10 years ago? How is it all of a sudden a new thing? Because you don't study. You're looking for a way out, and you ain't getting one. You ain't getting one nowhere. So, let me keep going. The residue and the remnant of my people, the residue of my people shall spoil them, and the remnant of my people shall possess them. We will take them captives whose captives they were. Let's keep going. Verse 10. This shall they have for their pride, because they have reproached and magnified themselves against the people of Yahweh's army, the Lord of hosts. Let's keep going. Yahweh will be terrible unto them. He will famish all the gods of the earth. In other words, all you fake gods, wood and stone and everything in between, you're going to be destroyed. And if you're worshiping them, you're going to be destroyed with those fake gods. And men shall worship him, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, every one from his place, even all the isles of the heathen. Because when they see what happens, the ones that are left over, the ones that are left behind, are definitely going to be in that great fear of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, and they're going to worship him and know that truly he is the one and only God. In fact, let's get that really quick too. In the place where they said that you're not Israel, is this place that they're going to say that you're truly the children of the living God. So during this captivity, Hosea 1:10, and it reads, "Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured or numbered, and it shall come to pass, that the place where it was said unto them, you are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, you are the sons of the living God." Now, the reason why I have to bring that out right now is because just like when we're watching Vocab, he went off on the 12 tribes chart. He said anybody that believed in that is a fool. How dare these people say that the spirit of Yahweh came upon them to make this chart? And then you go into the chart and all the people are the oppressed of the earth. And so he was saying like the main part of the 1/3 would be in this the north country. And so there's Israelites scattered from one corner of the earth to the other. But when you go into the transatlantic slave trade, which is also known as the diaspora, the scattering of the real Jews, you'll see that we were to put to the four corners of the earth. And this is the place where you guys are going to admit who we are. Right now you're saying that we're fools and morons. You're scoffing us. You're making fun of us. Jokes about us. So, verse 11, this is Zephaniah 2:11. Yahweh will be terrible unto them, for he will famish all the gods of the earth, and men shall worship him. Every one from his place, even all the isles of the heathen. Wait, there's more. Remember, Vocab Malone brought up the fucking Ethiopians. Ye Ethiopians also, ye shall be slain by my sword. Well, the Ethiopians are going to be saved too. No, they're not. They're fucking going down, bro. Going down. And he will stretch out his hand against the north and destroy Assyria. That spiritual Assyria, the north is America, which is also known as secret Babylon, spiritual Sodom and Egypt. This place has a lot of names, people. This place has a lot of names, and all those names are coming down to destruction. Wait, there's more. And will make Nineveh a desolation and dry like a wilderness. And so I think you guys get the point. He named off all the countries, so did I. In fact, let's go to the book of Amos and finish off a couple more places. Amos chapter, is it 3 or is it? Ooh, there it is. And yep, let's start at verse 3. Thus saith Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Dominicus, and 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they have threshed Gilead, with threshing instruments of iron. But I will send a fire into the house of Hazael, which shall devour the palaces of Ben-Hadad. I will break also the bar of Dominicus, and cut off the inhabitants from the plain of Avon, and him that holdeth the scepter from the house of Eden, and the people of Syria shall go into captivity unto Kir, saith Yahweh. Do you see this? I'm getting every nation. All you other nations will come together and serve Yahweh. Who's ever left? Because we're going to destroy you. Who's ever left? And you're going to be happy to follow the one and only true Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. you are going to be happy because you're going to see the destruction of your own nation. So please believe me when I tell you this. Vocab Malone doesn't know what he's talking about, and he's setting you guys up for destruction. And you know what? That money ain't going to save him either in the end. The money he's getting to lie to you, he is not going to be saved by it. Let's keep reading. So, verse 5, I will break also the bar of Leviticus to cut off the inhabitants from the plain of Avon, and him that holdeth the scepter from the house of Eden, and the people of Syria shall go into captivity unto Kir, saith Yahweh. Verse 6, thus saith Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Gaza, and 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they carried away captive the whole captivity to deliver them up to Edom. They took our people and delivered them to the Edomites. Let's keep reading. But I will send a fire on the wall of Gaza. Where is that war at with Israel right now? Didn't they destroy Gaza first? Well, let's find out if that's... Let's read that again. But I will send a fire on the wall of Gaza, which shall devour the palaces thereof. Gaza's devoured. Now we're talking real-time prophecy. So Vocab Malone, you don't know what you're talking about. But I guarantee you, if you came up against one of the real ones, you wouldn't last 5 seconds. That's why you don't go over there and try and deal with the elders. You try to find people that don't know the truth yet, but have a zeal for the truth that are still learning. You come up against one of the real ones, you're going to spiritually be destroyed. Your whole career will spiritually be destroyed. And physically, because you ain't shit. You're a pig. You're a hireling trying to steer the sheep in the wrong direction. So you're the scapegoat. You're leading them up to the slaughter, and then you're going to take that quick right, and then they all jump right into the slaughter. We know what's up. So, let's keep going. I will cut off the inhabitants of Ashdod, and him that holdeth the scepter of Ashkelon, and I will turn my hand against Ekron, and the remnant of the Philistines shall perish, saith Yahweh. I mean, I can keep going. I'm going to read one more because we got to get Edom in this. We got to get Edom in this too because Vocab Malone, you're an Edomite. And we know it. That's why you're Mark Reese, you don't deserve a nickname, a Eubonic nickname. Your name is Mark Reese, and you're an Edomite. Mark Reese, the Edomite, speaks against the children of Israel. So, let's read one more to get them Edomites in there too. Verse 9, thus saith Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Tyrus, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they delivered the whole captivity to Edom, and remembered not the brotherly covenant. Verse 10, I will send a fire on the wall of Tyrus, and it shall devour the places thereof. As you notice, one more. We got it. Like I said, we got to get Edom in there. Thus saith Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Edom. Now we're getting somewhere. And 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cut off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. That's why they're fucking shooting us down in the streets to this day. You think we're all just going to join together and be friends and happy? Let's all go into the pearly gates together. Well, I just showed you. There's no possible way any of those nations are going to be with us in the kingdom other than servants. And I think I have one more. I'm about to shut it down. Let me see if how valid this is. Because I'm pretty sure we exhausted all of the points that I wanted to bring out, but I got one more note that I've taken. So let's see what it says. If it's good, I'll bring it out. If not, we'll close out right here. So this takes us all the way back to what I first said, that the covenant is through Jacob, And with that covenant being through Jacob, only the Israelites are going to be remembered in these final days. And so, I guess I'll bring it out. This just really goes, it's really just pushing it, but why not? It says, there is neither Jew nor Greek, there is neither bond nor free, there is neither male nor female, but you are all one in Yahushua. So, all the nations again are together because of Yahushua right here. Yahushua HaMashiach going to save us all. Well, first of all, you guys won't even say that name. You say Jesus and Christ. So you go over there with Jesus and Christ and Buddha and Allah and all them, and go over there with them and be with them. But this is Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua that they're talking about. And if you be Christ, then are ye Abraham's seed and heirs according to the promise. So I showed you that in the beginning. So the only people that are going to be saved are the Israelites. Everybody outside of that 12 tribes chart, I just listed them. And guess what? They're not going to be saved. And if there is a remnant of those people, which there will be, they're going to see the destruction that has been cast upon their nation, and then they're going to fall into place. So, with that being said, if you have eyes to see and you have ears to hear, you know what? Let me just break that Jew or Greek down real quick. Greek is Grecian, which means either Israelite that has that doesn't know that they're Israelites and they're keeping the Greek culture, or it can also mean an Israelite that knows they're an Israelite but they're still keeping the Greek culture because, well, pretty much you would have to in those times. You would have to, or be destroyed. So remember this. It's only talking about Israel from the front of the book to the back of the book. The other nations that are mentioned are going to be slaves, or, like it says, the son, the nephew, the remnant, all destroyed. And when it goes into the father, the son, the nephew, and the remnant, that means that you're going to be extinct. So, with that being said, if you got eyes to see, if you got ears to hear, I hope you got something out of this short message. Shalom.